Good afternoon and welcome to Tea with Jess. Oh, I almost forgot to play my I have to play the little intro music. Hang on. Let's see here. We don't want to miss that, right? Here we go. I'm back. I wanted to make sure that I played that because I like it so much. It's always very relaxing to have a little bit of music with your tea. Plus, it gave me a chance to have a sip of my tea of the day, which is Earl Grey in my Calamity mug. Just love this mug. And Earl Grey tea. So, let's see. Today, what do I want to tell you about? Well, I want to let you know, you'll be the first to find out that dun, 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 the Stills paperback version will be out January 4th of next year. It's available for pre-order now. And I've noticed that some reviewers have commented that they're sad to see the series end. Well, not quite yet. There's not quite. There's a fourth book, The Echoes, coming out next March. It too is available for pre-order. So very exciting. You can go ahead and pre-order those or wait or ask your library to make sure to get in The Echoes. It's never too soon to ask about things like that. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to have those dates on my calendar. So we are in May, and spring cleaning time, right? So we were out, my husband and I, walking. I think it was the day before yesterday, maybe yesterday, I don't know. And it was the day before yesterday, and we're noticing all the junk that's on people's curbs, and soon there will be so much junk on our curb. We're doing a major muck out of our basement. Some things are going to our church for their bazaar. Some things are going to the curb for junk pickup day. But as we were walking past one of the houses, there was a man with a trailer attached to his pickup truck, and he looked a little like apologetic almost. Because he was putting stuff from the curb into his trailer, and for all I knew, that was where the man lived. But he said, I'm just here picking up this stuff because I'm an artist and I collect these items and I refinish them. And I looked it was an open bed trailer. I looked into the trailer and there were 3 or 4 wrought iron rusting chairs. And I thought, yes, you could sand that down, treat the rust, spray paint it, maybe add a cushion or 2 or not, and these would be quite lovely. And I said, I can see the potential in these. And he said, yes, ma'am, it's a lot of work, but it's worth it. And I thought that was so charming. I loved that he described himself as an artist because he is. What I envisioned for what I would do had I grabbed those wrought iron chairs off the curb is different than what he would do, probably. So our visions are slightly different. So I loved that. I loved that he proclaimed himself an artist. And I've certainly done that with old furniture pulled from my in-laws' basement back in the day, sanding it and repainting it and finishing it. I once grabbed a wicker basket that was just the right size for whatever. It was big. It wasn't like a Easter basket size. It was big. That was just falling apart and ratty, and much to our then preteen/teenage daughter's chagrin, I hopped out of the car, stopped the car, hopped out while they're like this. The neighbor kids will see you, and threw it in the back seat or trunk or whatever, and spray painted it a lovely silver. That has been one of our laundry baskets for now like 20 years. And I just sort of smile in as much as one's going to smile when looking at laundry baskets. I look at this big wicker spray painted laundry basket and I smile. And it made me think of this column that I wrote years ago. I used to write a column called Sanity Check, and it made me think of this particular column. So I thought I would share it with you. So here we go. Need a little more of my tea. I'll wet my whistle before I share some of my thoughts with you, this little essay. It's junk pickup week in my town. What this means technically is that all the stuff we'd normally have to pay to have the city haul away, for example, that mattress with the sprung spring, will be picked up with the usual trash. It's municipally blessed spring cleaning. But what this means really is a once-a-year opportunity for a curbside view of human nature. For example, the old saying, one person's trash is another's treasure, comes to life during junk pickup week. Folks drive around just to see what's lurking curbside. Sometimes they even hop out of their vehicles, kind of like I did with the wicker basket, and poke at trash, picking it over for hidden gems. Those 2x4s that you were going to craft into some project that you now only vaguely remember, trash to you, a future bookshelf to someone else. It's a hard impulse to resist. When our neighbors started hauling out their junk, my husband and I looked at each other, our expressions clearly communicating, Our adolescent daughters gave us looks that clearly communicated, don't even go there. All this nonverbal communication wrapped up, though, and we caved and went there. Specifically, we went to a neighbor's curb that sported a huge dresser drawer. No dresser, just the drawer. To the neighbor, trash. To us, framing for a future raised bed for tomato plants. And I admit, while carting home the drawer turned tomato bed framing, we also espied another neighbor's small parson table. To the neighbor, trash. To me, a nice solid wooden piece that just needs a little sanding, painting, and stenciling to transform it into a cute little end table. A certain social etiquette, though, must be observed during junk week. For example, one doesn't want a junk pile that completely disappears before the official city pickup because that implies wastefulness. The majority of your junk pile should remain intact until the official pickup to show that you have truly gotten the maximum use out of your stuff and are not adding to the landfill just because you've given in to overconsumption. Then again, it is important to have at least one item disappear from your pile. Otherwise, you're sending the signal that you're willing to live with junk that really is junk for a whole year. Perhaps the worst junk week faux pas, though, is to have absolutely nothing to kick to the curb. This implies a certain I'm too organized to have junk snootiness. And yet, it's a faux pas we have sadly committed. We keep pointing out to our neighbors that we've only been moved in for less than a year. We got rid of our junk before we moved, and we just haven't had time for our stuff to morph into junk. If only we'd planned ahead, we'd have brought some junk with us just for junk week. All we can do is to try to appease with the promise that next year we really, really will have junk to put out. Maybe that little parson table if I don't get around to refurbishing it this summer. Or maybe, to be on the safe side, we should just scavenge some more junk from our neighbors' piles this year and save it to put out our junk week next year. Now that's hardcore junk recycling. When I wrote that article, we had in fact just moved into the house that we still live in, and that's been 16 years. So believe me, we have junk uh, a plenty to put out to the curb this year. So okay, I see some questions, wonderful, and comments. So I see Jean Ann is reading The Hollows and says, fantastic. Thank you, Jean Ann. I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you. Jay asks, do you need to read the books in order? And the answer is no, you don't have to. I try to write them so that they're as standalones. You can read them in order, but you can read them, you know, backwards if you want, or just read one. That's fine too. Melanie is happy about a book number 4, and Mary Beth says she hopes there'll be more kinship books after that goes, and we'll see. I hope so. I hope so too. That would be exciting, wouldn't it? Well, thank you though for those lovely comments. I really appreciate that. Um, and thanks for joining me for Tea with Jess. I just wanted to share my thoughts about Junk Week and my little essay about Junk Week and answer, any questions you have. And I appreciate you sharing those questions and comments. Um, so until next week, life is hard. Have tea, take care of yourselves, and take care of others. Bye bye.